being a black gymnast at the collegiate level and seeing so many more black gymnasts enter with HBCUs getting into the mix. I think it's amazing to see all the representation and see all the different personalities. It's just become a lot more diverse among black athletes just in general, and I think that's really helpful for the younger generation coming up to see like, oh, she looks like me, she's built like me, she does gymnastics like me, and I want to be like that.
I think in this sport, it's really hard to look different than other people and be okay with that. I would just say stick with it and be who you are, because to really stand out in this sport, especially because it is predominantly white, and there's an opportunity for growth here, and it's awesome that you can be a part of that. So just own that and have fun with it.
Celebrating Black history in gymnastics, you saw Aria Brush in that feature. A lot of history in her family. Her great-great-uncle Lucius Williams played professional baseball for the Birmingham Black Barons in the Negro Leagues, and she is paving the way herself. Now a grad student for Auburn, and taking a peek at other women who came before her that are now in coaching in gymnastics. Going to start here, Alicia, with Asia Sims Fletcher.
The former Alabama gymnast has now taken her knowledge of the sport to another school as the inaugural head coach at Talladega College. She joins Fisk University as the second HBCU program in the nation. She is a phenomenal gymnast, and now she is a phenomenal coach, just inspiring athletes each and every day.
Really cool to see, and taking a peek at some other former gymnasts who have become coaches around gymnastics, and specifically in the SEC. Corrine Wright Tarver, Georgia gymnast from 1987 to 1990, hired at Fisk in 2022. In '89, she became the first black woman to win an NCAA all-around title. Ashley Miles Greig, former Bama gymnast as well, hired at Iowa State last year. We got more coming up from Neville Arena on the other side. A fun meet so far. Rotations here at Auburn. Alabama, after their season high on vault, has cut Auburn's lead in the meet from .325 to .100 after that last rotation. So it's getting tighter in a packed atmosphere in Neville Arena. You see the student section right behind Alabama there, the Gymnasties. They'll try to get in your head. A fun start to this meet through 2 rotations. Now go to the 3rd rotation on the floor. It'll be Alabama. On the beam, it will be Auburn, and Paige Zancan will get us started up here on the beam. Paige, a freshman from Maryland.
Spring layout, step up, just a slight balance check on the landing of the layout. Switch loop, switch half. Very nice leap connection. This has been a close competition so far, but I'm a firm believer in balance beam being the make or break event. And Paige is all her team needs to be in that leadoff position to get the ball of momentum rolling for Auburn on balance beam.
Alicia, you hear that pretty often, the beam could be the make or break event in any meet. Why is that?
You know, it can just turn the tide of the competition. You have a lead going into that event, you make a mistake. Sometimes mistakes are contagious, and the nerves of, you know, staying on a 4-inch piece of equipment is a little bit difficult.
Easier said than done. And now, so on Alabama for the floor, leading off will be Maddie Walagora, native of Rochester, Michigan.
Getting ready for her first tumbling pass. Teammates and the Gymnasties both copying her choreography over there on the sidelines. A nice front lay to front double full. Torch day half to wolf full. floor and beam are similar in the sense of it is showcasing your artistry, your flexibility, and your power by showing acro skills, your tumbling, but also doing leaps and turns to show off a little bit of your flexibility and your artistry and how well you can present and dance through these events. Round off 1.5 to front layout. A good hit in that lead-off position for Alabama.
Felt like a statement start for Walagora on the floor for the Tide. Again, trailed by .100 heading into this rotation. For the beam for Auburn, they gave Paige Jancan a 9.90 to start off. Break down the points of emphasis here for us, Alicia.
On balance beam, judges are looking at your dance and acro skills and elements. They want to see how you connect them, and of course you need to have a balance.
Now Aria Brush will step up here. She's done bars, beam, and floor throughout her career.
Switch half to beat jump. I like Aria's style on balance beam. It's aggressive, it's sharp, it's quick. Back handspring, layout, step out. Anytime I'm working with athletes and I'm coaching them on balance beam, I tell them, I go, the secret to staying on the balance beam is having tight arms and having a quick, aggressive tempo. So the more you doubt or relax, I feel like it's easier to make a mistake or possibly fall.
This is going to be my follow-up, just eliminating any sort of hesitation and overthinking.
Definitely. Gainer full off the side, fighting for that landing. Another hit routine for Auburn.
Nice start on the beam for Auburn. We'll see what they give Aria Brush. Auburn had a season high on the vault today. Alabama had a season high on the vault as well to cut back into that Auburn lead now into the third rotation with Auburn on the beam, Alabama on the floor. Cam Machado will step up here on the floor for Alabama.
Now, I think this is a good strategy by Alabama. They strategically placed their team in front of the Gymnastics to almost block their distraction of making mockery of their choreography, but the team is supporting their teammate by doing the choreography. It's very well played by the Crimson Tide. Cam opened up with a double tuck and showing us an array of wolf turns. Cam going for her next tumbling pass. Round off 1.5 front layout. Switch lead. A very nice switch half.
So, Alicia, you mentioned kind of chest move after chest move. It's Gymnastics versus Alabama supporting their teammate here. So you see behind them, the Gymnastics are trying to do a little bit of mockery, as you said, but blocking it out is the key. Block out the distractions, as we say.
You're like, we're going to take your negative and make it a positive, and we're just going to be right in front of you stealing your thunder. I mean, it is amazing. Such a power move on Alabama's part.
Gotta love that. So next up for Auburn on the beam, it'll be Olivia Hollingsworth. You see she's in the all-around. One of the several different names in that category. Our head coach Jeff Grabus said, I don't know if I can say enough about Olivia. She had to actually miss practice last week because she was interviewing for medical school. Maybe the hardest degree you can get while practicing throughout the week and doing the all-around. Just says so much about her work ethic.
I mean, clearly she's an underachiever, Jason. Not nearly working hard enough.
We should be learning from her.
For real. Back handspring layout, step out, rock solid on that landing. A little unsure of herself on that switch half. Switch leap, straddle, quarter. Handspring, gainer full off the side, fighting to hold that stick position at the end. We're going to take another look at that switch half. You can see she didn't fully get her hips all the way around, therefore her feet were not going to be landing straight on the beam. They were turned to the side, causing her to lose balance just a little bit.
Talking to their head coach there, Jeff Grabus. So now Ella Burgess will come up on the floor for Alabama. She really added floor to her plate this year. Hadn't done it consistently since her freshman year. Always smiling and bringing a positive to each situation she's in.
That tiger in the background had a nice body roll. Ella opening up her first tumbling pass, double pike. Second pass, double tuck. Switch side half to straddle full. Front full to front layout. A little under rotated on that last flip. Still keeps it on her feet. The judges will get her a little bit for that step backwards.
The Thursday night at 9 Eastern right here on SEC Network and the ESPN app. It's a big women's basketball matchup in College Station with Vandy going up against Texas A&M. Should be a fun one there. Vandy has really surprised some people this year going down to College Station. That's a 9 Eastern start for some late night hoops on Thursday. Now Sophia Groth coming up on the beam for Auburn. The lowest score so far on beam for Auburn is a 9.725 from Olivia Hollingsworth. So right now, that would be the score they dropped. Paige Zancan had a 9.9 and Aria Brush had a 9.850.
Back handspring layout, back handspring for Sophia. Her face of excitement. Honestly, I'd probably make that face after any skill I completed on balance beam these days. But a 3-skill series is very difficult. Nice leap connection. Switch leap to switch half. cartwheel, gainer full off the side. I don't necessarily think that was a stick. I think there was slight foot movement, but she was working real hard to not pick up those feet. Another look at that 3 skill accuracy. Here's the back handspring, layup, back handspring. And the cartwheel, gainer full off the side. I would have liked to see that be a little bit higher before she came down on the ground, but I'll take this stuck landing or semi-stuck landing.
We'll see what they end up giving Sophia. As you can see right now, the score is tied. 128.200 for both Auburn and Alabama. Into this third rotation, it's Lily Hudson on the floor.
Front layout, front double full for Lily's first tumbling pass.
Gotta love a little Sweet Home Alabama, Alicia.
Who doesn't? I mean, their medley of music in her floor routine, it hits home for me. I feel like I need to be doing a home gym workout, just getting real pumped up. The bow and arrow shoot, amazing. One of my favorite things about college gymnastics is all the different choreography you see. Nice double tuck for Lily in her second pass. A fun routine for Lily Hudson from Alabama. Nice connection on this first tumbling pass. A front layout to a front double full, which is a flip with 2 twists. And channeling her inner Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games, shooting that arrow into the crowd.
Gotta love that from Lily. And for Lily, bouncing back from a vault that didn't go her way earlier, able to mentally switch over to the floor. And now back to the beam here for Auburn. There's Cassie Stevens, again, who is in that all-around mix. They gave Lily a 9.925, by the way, on the floor.
Great score for Lily. Nice back handspring layout for Cassie. Has been just such a constant for this team, week in and week out. Performing her own skills right there with Stevens.
So huge for them to get her back for a 5th year.
Round off 1.5 to a stuck landing. That will be a good score.
What a performance on the beam for Cassie Stevens. That follows up one of 2 9.9s that Auburn have had on the beam so far.
Showcasing her flexibility, hitting that 180 degrees, maybe just shy of 180 degrees, to the double yang bow. Nice look at the round off, 1.5. And the look of excitement, partially for being done with beam, but also for partially sticking that landing.
They got through it, and it was an excellent routine on the beam there for Stevens. So now Gabby Gladio on the floor. And there's 2 remaining gymnasts on the floor for Alabama.
Gabby opens up a full twisting double back, slightly under-rotated, causing her to take that step forward. commotion from the beam area. Cassie Stevens received 110 from one judge. Ended up with a 9.975 for that very well done beam routine. Front layout to front 1.5 split jump. Probably not the way she wanted to start her routine, but she did finish that routine strong.
See what they end up giving Gabby. It'll be Luisa Blanco who will anchor that floor lineup for Alabama, but first to anchor the beam lineup for Auburn. Gabby McLaughlin will come up following what was as Alicia mentioned, a 9.975 for Cassie Stevens. She got 110. One of the judges that had never arena erupted. But it'll be Gabby McLaughlin trying to follow up an excellent performance from Cassie Stevens on the beam.
A lot of people ask if they think it's difficult to perform after a teammate had fallen. I personally think it's also difficult to perform after a teammate does really well. Because it puts more pressure on you because you want to do equally as well, if not better. So I think sometimes that pressure can come from either, it's a double-edged sword, it's coming from either the fear of not wanting to make a mistake or the desire to just dominate and get a great score. Switch leap to straddle quarter. Back leg was a touch low on that switch leap. Gainer pike off the end of the beam, step backwards. It's going to be a decent score. It's not, it probably will beat Olivia Hollingsworth's 9.725. But it's still a great beam rotation for Auburn.
Alicia, is that step backwards or step forward going to take more deduction off?
It will be more because it indicates under rotation. Anytime there's a step backwards when you're doing technically a forward flipping element, even though it's a back flip, which is very confusing in general for that dismount. But yes, it would take more of a deduction for the step backwards.
So now none other to anchor this floor lineup than Luisa Blanco. Already a two-time SEC Gymnast of the Week this season.
Opening up that floor routine with the wolf turn. Big double pike for Luisa in her first tumbling pass. Back handspring double tuck. Had a little extra juice on that landing. Takes a decent sized step backwards. You're allowed to do a controlled lunge. I would say that was just a little bit out of control. Going for her last tumbling pass. A front full front layout. You may wonder why some athletes do a jump or step arabesque out of their tumbling. One, it's one way to have to kind of cover up if you don't have control of the landing. And two, if you do it with a jump, you tend to get a bonus point for the connection.
Luis is performing with such a level of freedom right now within each of her events. So Auburn will have the lead heading into the fourth rotation. I don't know how many people expected to be saying that going into tonight, but Auburn certainly felt like they could take this meet today. And again, they'll have the lead at home going into the fourth rotation, still waiting on that Luisa Blanco score. We now are joined by Jeff Grava, the head coach for Auburn. Well, Jeff, your team will have the lead heading into the fourth rotation. What have you made of your group's performance so far at home?
Pretty good. I mean, I'm really happy with where we are. The focus has been good. The energy's been good. We got to go here. This is our best event, so we got to go party a little bit.
All right, I know you're going to party a little bit, but what are you telling your athletes to focus on during this rotation?
Just energy. I mean, it's a great atmosphere in here, but we got to keep our own energy up. You can't just rely on it. So we're going to try to stay focused, try to help each other get through this, stay in our bubble, but energize our bubble.
Thanks, Jeff. Looks like a party behind you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm glad I'm over here.
Right? Well, appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
They're swag surfing in Neville Arena, and they're amped up because their group has the lead going into the fourth rotation. We'll have more on Friday Night Heights coming up next on SEC Network.